Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdy Miniatures, where in today's video we'll be painting my awakened Wyldwood in a cherry blossom theme, ready for my armies on parade board. So if you want to see how I did it, then just keep on watching. Like I mentioned in my previous video, our emails are now open for commissions, so if there's any work that you guys would like to see or do or have us do for you, then just let us know. Right, now let's jump into how I did the trees. To begin, I sprayed all 3 trees using white scar spray paint. Once that was dry, I moved on to the tree bark and the branches. For this, I used the shade Gotha Brown, and this did take a while as there were a lot of parts to cover, but it was worth it in the end because I had to build it up in layers. Once that was dry, I moved on to the leaves. Using a dry brush, I stippled the colour Fulgrim Pink, Screamer Pink and Corax White over the top to add dimension. At this point I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted the leaves to look, and I actually ended up covering this up again later on using contrast paint, but it did still poke through a little bit, adding a little bit of dimension, so I'm still happy I did this step. Speaking of the contrast paints, for this I used Volupus Pink and Doomfire Magenta. I first started with Volupus Pink, covering the entire base, and then went in a little bit later on with the Doomfire Magenta and quite a damaged broken brush, but to be honest, this actually worked in my favour as it allowed the colour to bleed and blend with the Volupus Pink while still adding highlights, so it actually worked really well. Whilst that dried, I moved on to the trees and the bones that you can see scattered around the bottoms of the tree. For this, I used the shade Xandri Just and a dry brush. I dry brushed it over the bark to add some dimension and some subtle highlight, and then using that same shade, I covered the bones around the tree to kind of show that these skeletons had been there for a while. I finished these off later with Skeleton Horde off camera. Attached to the trees are various mushrooms. So to blend this one with my previous Dart Frog theme, I went in with that Doomfire Magenta, which was obviously a very vibrant pink, and painted over each individual mushroom just to add a little bit of brightness. To finish this off, I did the bases. For the rocks, I used Eshin Grey, and then covered the entire base in Stirland Mud. And that is it. Really, really simple. I used this for all 3 trees. There was no differentiating between the 3. And honestly, I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. Down in the description, you will find 2 links. The first to Mr. Nerd's channel. So if you enjoy MMOs and action RPGs, then please feel free to have a look at that. And of course, if you enjoy Warhammer content, which if you're watching this, I can assume you do, then I'd recommend having a look at my channel, where I cover lore like Warhammer and Tolkien on Mondays and Fridays, which will also be in the description down below. Anyway, that'll be it from me today. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. And as always, peace out, guys.